And we are back about new concerns over threats against U.S. military families by groups claiming ties to ISIS via social media. It's keeping law enforcement on high alert right now. Members of those groups are taking over the Twitter and Facebook accounts of several military spouses this week. Here's what we're talking about. Take a look. Quote, "While your president and your husband are killing our brothers in Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, we're coming for you." And how about this one? "We know everything about you, your husband and your children, and we're much closer than you can even imagine." It's obviously very troubling and even scary as these families deal with this kind of cyber terrorism. Joining us now, two women who are targeted by these extremists and are now here to share their story. I want to welcome Angela Ricketts and Lori Volkman. Both are joining us to tell more about the threats that they received. And ladies, I'm really glad that you could share the story with our audience because it's certainly an important one. Angela, let me begin with you. As I understand it, the FBI has opened an investigation into these social media threats. You must have been quite alarmed when you first received a threat via your social media account.
I was alarmed for a second, for a while. And then I think we kind of blew it off and thought that it was just, you know, a crazy message. And as the day progressed, we started to take it a little more seriously. And yeah, now we've heightened our security. We're being very vigilant from the federal and state level all the way down to our city police and our neighborhood HOA. Yeah, we're taking a lot of measures to tighten our security.
Lori, knowing that this group has your personal information, it must be very, very troubling, uncomfortable, and it's also the fact that it leaves you feeling quite vulnerable to an unknown entity. How did you respond to this?
My heart was racing immediately. Of course, I was shocked to be called out by first and last name. In fact, Uma, when you were reading that message just now, my heart started to race a little bit.
Wow.
It's shocking to hear them call you out by first and last name, but as Angela said, when you start to put some of the facts together and you know that the FBI is on the case, and I actually had our local law enforcement call and offer their support as well, you realize how much support you have.
You know, Angela, your husband has been deployed overseas 8 times, including 4 times in Iraq and Afghanistan. What assurances are you receiving from law enforcement right now?
What assurances am I receiving? Is that what you asked me?
Yes.
Oh, they're all over it. I mean, we couldn't be in better hands. My husband spent the day at Northern Command here where he works with FBI and CID and police and yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about our safety necessarily. We've really tightened our ship.
Lori, you know, these warnings had been out a few months ago to let military families know that they might be targeted. Have these threats forced you to change your lifestyle or activities on a regular basis? And if so, how?
You know, when I made a decision to write stories for military families and publicize that, and I'm CEO of a very public communications firm, I can't really go back and rewrite history. My information's out there for anyone that has a computer. But you can still be vigilant, and one of the things that's really empowering about this entire situation is, you know, that message was intended to invoke fear. And obviously, we're concerned and we're vigilant. But I think the message that military families are hearing through this whole thing is not to be afraid. Fear is a choice. We can still be aware of the danger and vigilant without being afraid.
Absolutely. I mean, there is a difference between being afraid and living in fear.
Right.
You know, Angela, I mean, what do you say about standing up to this kind of threat? I mean, I know that it's a way to say, you know what, I'm not going to take this. We don't need to cave in like this or be afraid. So what are you doing?
Well, the one thing that I do not want to see happen with this is I don't want to see this become one more thing for military spouses to grandstand over and use as a way of feeling relevant. Each of us targeted were featured in a CNN article that asked us about the ISIS threats towards military families. I think that I said something like, if ISIS gets to a point where they're targeting yappy army wives, that I'm screwed already, so it's too late for me to pull back. I wrote a kind of controversial book called No Man's War that came out last summer. And I mean, it's on bookshelves across the country, so it's, you know, the FBI told me that it's too late for me to pull back. So here I am.
Well, ladies, you are, I would say, very courageous to come forward and talk about this. Certainly, you're not going to be operating in fear. You're going to move forward in very positive ways and encourage other families that may be victims of cyber attacks as well. But we really do appreciate you joining us today, and keep us posted on how things are going in the investigation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the best.